Nate, I want to just move on because you're one of the great ETF flow experts out there. We've got the first half is in the record books. We have nearly 420 billion in inflows. This is your number, Nate, I'm using. This looks like the second best year ever if we continue this into the second half, and we've got an outside shot of breaking 2021's record. So 420 billion in the first half, 90 billion in June. Look at these huge ones, $90 billion. So Nate, tell us a little bit about why this is happening. I know maybe you can put up our prior full screen that we had with the top 10 inflows. Most of this is still plain vanilla ETFs, but riff on this a little bit. Tell us what's going on here.
Well, first of all, you're right in that the industry is on pace to at least challenge 2021's record haul. It'll be a stretch, but regardless, the current pace is substantially ahead of 2022 and 2023. And what's interesting is historically, inflows tend to accelerate in the second half of the year, especially in the fourth quarter. So however you want to slice it, this is shaping up as another banner year for the ETF industry overall. But you look at the ETFs taking in the most money, you're right, it's primarily the broad-based market cap weighted products, which of course, those products have been dominated by the biggest individual names in the market right now. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple. Investors continue pouring money into these broad-based ETFs. And I would say, who can blame them? The S&P 500 is up about 18% year to date. The NASDAQ 100 is up 22%. These ETFs continue to work. And so unless something significant changes with the economic outlook, or perhaps how the Fed approaches the market, or some outside event, I would expect flows to continue into these products in the back half of the year.
And of course, that's the beauty, you're an old ETF guy yourself, about indexing in general, that you don't have to wonder about what the right sectors are this year. You don't have to do market timing. You don't have to pick the right sectors. It's true, tech is dominating everything this year, but if you own the S&P 500, that's not a concern of yours because you're going along with the whole ride. Here's Jack Bogle's idea 50 years ago in action.
That's exactly right. And now in these extraordinary low-cost ETFs, it's no mystery why they're pulling in that kind of flows. The smallest investor can gain access to the same portfolio a large institution would for effectively zero. They're incredible tools. So we'll continue to see that.
Yeah, and yet when you look at the numbers, Nate, 19 trillion in mutual funds and still only 9 trillion in ETFs could go a long way, obviously. There's an awful lot of money locked up in mutual funds. It's amazing how sticky people, it's like grandma's fund there, she's paying 1.5%, and yet, it makes you wonder, like, is a grandson looking at this thing? You're paying 1.5% at this point? I keep waiting. There seems to be like a lot of sticky money that could be unlocked if people paid a little more attention, Nate, to what their portfolio is paying out.
Yeah, I view that as a tremendous opportunity for the ETF industry overall. And we have some interesting stories to track. We have the potential ETF share class of mutual funds. That could be a catalyst. We're seeing the largest asset managers continue to get involved in ETFs. They're offering their best strategies, their best portfolio managers. So active ETFs overall continue to be a huge tailwind. There's just so much momentum right now. So with that mutual fund number that you offer, again, I just see that as a tremendous opportunity for the ETF space moving forward.
Yeah, the beautiful thing is it really doesn't even matter that much if the S&P is lower by the end of the year than it is this year. It's still, for long-term investors, that's not going to change much. So the flows still come in, even if the S&P is lower this time in December 31st than it is right now. I don't see how that is going to fundamentally change. This has been a great conversation, folks. Of course, we're going to be keeping an eye on the spot Ether ETFs coming out. We'll let you know as soon as that looks imminent, but look for it in the next week or so.